burning question powered by Samsung Fridge and Sharda University.
For the last many days, remember, at least 40 days and counting, as long as the wrestlers have been on the protest at different locations, you have seen political parties trying to use that opportunity to be able to hit out at the government. So the wrestlers' protest became political, and that has been a concern that a lot of you have expressed. But now, as we are looking at almost a truce between the wrestlers and the government, what will those political parties do? And is this also a lesson for a lot of people who want to get politics into almost everything? That's going to be a burning question. A very good evening. I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Before we deep dive into that big subject, get you all the highlights. These are the headlines on top of it. The sports minister and the wrestlers hold marathon meet. Wrestlers decide to hold their protest till June the 15th after the government's assurances. Meeting of the opposition parties now scheduled for June the 23rd in Patna. Can there be a pre-poll opposition front to take on Narendra Modi come 2024? "53 days after Atiq killing on camera, Mukhtar Ansari aide is killed in an open firing in a Lucknow court premises. Clashes break out in Kolhapur over a social media post. Curfew is imposed. Internet services are suspended as tensions continue to prevail.
ये भी हम ढूंढ के निकालेंगे कौन जानबूझकर महाराष्ट्र में कानून व्यवस्था खराब हो और महाराष्ट्र का नाम खराब हो ये करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, ये भी हम ढूंढ के निकालेंगे।
The Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is warning the instigators. He says a sudden spurt in Aurangzeb's glorifiers. And amidst all the speculation, Sachin Pilot is in the national capital. He's all set to meet with senior Congress leaders today and tomorrow. But what will he do next? No one knows. So the wrestlers' protest. This has been a topic of conversation, a topic of discussion for the last many days, at least 45 days. Because these wrestlers, remember, had some very genuine concerns. They wanted action. There were charges of sexual harassment. They wanted the government to intervene. Now, the government has finally intervened. You've heard from the union sports minister, Anurag Thakur, who earlier in the day actually sat with these wrestlers, and he has brokered some kind of peace. Now, there is a formula according to which, for the moment, these wrestlers have decided to suspend all kinds of protests till the 15th of this month. That means that there's going to be no protest, there is going to be no agitation, at least till the 15th. That's the deadline. And during this deadline, you will see the government taking action against Brijbhushan if he's found guilty. There's going to be a charge sheet that's going to be filed. Also, the Wrestling Federation of India, remember, is up for an election. What the wrestlers have also demanded, and something that has been agreed on by the union sports minister, is that absolutely no one related to Brijbhushan should be a part of the Wrestling Federation of India. And there's going to be an oversight committee to be looking at almost everything. But the question then is that if the government could do this today, why did the government not do this earlier? This is a question I think a lot of you are asking. Also, another question that begs an answer today is that a lot of political parties during these protests were seen as a part of this protest. In fact, people like Mamata Banerjee even carried out a candle march supporting these wrestlers. They've hit out at the government. They used this as an opportunity, and not surprising because this, ladies and gentlemen, is an election year. But now, as the protest has almost reached its dead end, will this politics stop? We'll try to find answer to that question in just a moment. First up, the full story.
After 6.5-hour long meeting with Sports Minister Anurag Thakur, protesting wrestlers came out assured.
सरकार ने हमें बोला कि 15 तारीख तक जो पुलिस की जो कार्रवाई चल रही है उसको तेजी से 15 तारीख तक हम 15 तारीख तक का समय दीजिए और हम उसको पूरा कर देंगे।
पुलिस जांच 15 जून तक पूरी होने तक सरकार ने समय मांगा है और जब तक हम कोई भी आंदोलन नहीं करेंगे।
The government has assured that charge sheet in alleged sexual harassment case will be filed by June 15th and wrestlers will suspend their protest till then.
सकारात्मक बातचीत बहुत संवेदनशील मुद्दे पर हुई है। जो आरोप लगाए गए हैं उन आरोपों की जांच पूरी करके 15 जून तक चार्जशीट दायर की जाए। जिन खिलाड़ियों के या अखाड़ों के अकेडमीज के या कोचेस के खिलाफ मुकदमे हैं उन मुकदमों को वापस लेने की मांग की है ताकि उस पर कोई कानूनी या पुलिस की कार्रवाई ना की जा सके। और खिलाड़ियों ने कहा है कि वो चाहते हैं कि 15 जून तक चार्जशीट दायर हो और वो भी अपना कोई भी इस पर प्रदर्शन या उनसे जुड़े हुए कोई भी संगठन उनके समर्थक हैं वो भी कोई प्रदर्शन नहीं करेंगे।
With talks on 5-point demand, the wrestlers and government seem to have reached an agreement. Will the politics over the protest stop now? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So will the politics end and what will happen next? You know, these political parties, will they be looking for something new in this truce, or this is just a temporary truce as a lot of people are suggesting? Let's say good evening to our full panel of guests. Joining us, Deshratan Nigam is an advocate of the Supreme Court. Binay Singh is a political analyst. Mr. Bedi, it's good to have him back. He's a sports journalist, and like I always say, he has some very, very strong opinions on the entire wrestlers' protest. And that's exactly what he's going to be talking about. I do see Brinda Adige, who's an activist, joining us also, along with Nikhil Sharma, who's a founder and CEO of this Late Sports. And Ravi Srivastava is a political analyst, completing our panel. As I say good evening to all of you, I want to take my first question to Ravi. Ravi, what will political parties now do? A lot of you said the government is not doing anything. A lot of you have absolutely used this opportunity to be able to score brownie points. Do you think you should have done that in hindsight? Because this is a very, very serious issue.
For a change, I agree with your opening remark, the very first sentence you said. You said that why today after 45 days? What government has lost its face completely. The international defame, the national entire cricket team of 83, they said that, you know, this is absolutely bizarre and the government should act. But my question here is that where is the arrest of Braj Bhushan Sharan Singh? Which is the moot question that remains there.
Okay.
A POXO culprit, a POXO charged person, how he is roaming scot-free. I think that's the first point. All these other things are acceptable. By 15 June, the charge sheet will be there. By 30th, the elections will be there. Nobody from the family of Braj Bhushan Singh will participate. All these things are accepted. But my question is, the very first, the major issue has not been addressed yet. He should be arrested. He is a POXO alleged person. And law will take its own course. It has become a funny thing. You have got two people, the Manish Sisodia and the Satyendra Jain in the jail. So one for last 3 months, the other last for last 1 year. You prove yourself that you are not guilty. Here a person...
See, what are you doing? What kind of an equivalence is that? I wasn't expecting this, Ravi, from you. You started on a good note. You started on a good note, and I will take that question to people who today are supporting the government. But the point is to say that, oh, Manish Sisodia has been in jail, Satyendra Jain is in jail, but Braj Bhushan is not in jail. That kills your case. That completely kills your case. I mean, don't try to do that. And like I said, this is false equivalence. But this is exactly what happens when you have political parties looking at an issue, Brinda, as sensitive as sexual harassment. This is exactly what happens. Ravi.
This is
I want Brinda to actually speak to Ravi and tell him why he's wrong there.
This is what is happening here. This is what is happening
Brinda.
here. You show the person, I'll show you the law.
Yes. What we want to ask over here is all political parties must understand that the law must take its course, cannot just be a rhetoric. Here we are talking of women and their protection. And if political parties want to come there and stand by them, then they just stand by the women and ask the government for the due course of law to be executed. Why would you want to mix up saying so-and-so is in jail, so so-and-so must go into jail? There is a problem here. There is an issue over here. There is impunity that Brij Bhushan Charan Singh has been portraying for a very long time. And the wrestlers are asking for this man to be arrested. That is the demand. And now if the government says that the charge sheet will be filed on 15th, then we want to wait for the 15th and we want to be assured that that man will be arrested so that cases that are already piling on him and have piled on him see the light of day as justice for the wrestlers. I'm not bothered about anybody else being in jail or out of jail. I am concerned that this sexual predator, Brij Bhushan Charan Singh, is arrested as per law and sent to jail.
Okay. Now, Brinda, it's important, I think, that you made that comment. But I think what Ravi factually asked is also important. Now, whether that minor has actually retracted her statement or not, I'm not very clear. Republic does not vouch for any such detail. Because like I said, there is so much of speculation. There is so much of innuendo right now going on. So I think Deshratan Nigamji is the best person to actually explain what happens in that case. Now, Deshratan Nigamji, do you have any idea whether this minor who has leveled these very, very serious charges under POCSO has already withdrawn her statement? And if that is even allowed, because a statement that has been made before a magistrate under 164, can that just simply be withdrawn? And if it has, does that not show that someone like a Brij Bhushan being out can actually lead to something like this?
Well, Deepti ji, let us make it very clear that the demand was for an FIR. Then came the demand for the arrest. Now, arrest will only happen as per the law. And the law on the subject is very, very clear.
Deshratan Nigamji, the FIR also happened when they reached the Supreme Court.
No, that's fine. I'm talking about subsequent steps. When the FIR has already been registered, then what happens? Under the POCSO, the contents of the FIR clearly show that section 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, 12 are attracted. And the maximum punishment is under section 10, which is about 7 years. 7 years. Please, this 7 years is a very important factor where the Supreme Court has said, and also the amendment which was added in 2008 under the UPA government, section 41A, where it was said if the punishment is up to 7 years, then there is no arrest. In that case, notice of appearance has to be issued to the accused and he has to be interrogated. In this case, twice Brij Bhushan Singh has been interrogated and he is cooperating with investigation. So he cannot be arrested. If the police or the courts want the person to be arrested, it has to approach the court, give reasons recorded in writing, and those reasons have to be very specific. Has Brij Bhushan Singh given any chance or reasons enough whether he should be arrested or not?
Apologies, I'm just interrupting you again, but I just want to clarify one thing. Does this happen in all POCSO cases?
No, in certain cases, police has violated this law. And in fact, in recent case in Allahabad High Court, sent a person to... Please, Ravi ji, I don't interfere. This is written. This is very much written in the law.
Okay, Ravi, at least let him complete his point, then you can counter him.
See, if Supreme Court has come down very heavily in some of my cases on the police who have violated this law, where they directly arrested a person where the punishment was 7 years or less. And the court has, in fact,
No, that's different. That's different, sir. That is different. You're talking of the Arnesh Kumar judgment. That is different. This is a POCSO case. And I don't want to even get into those legalities. But the point is, I mean, today, I don't know if anyone on the panel today can defend Brij Bhushan in case he is guilty of those charges. Now, these are very serious charges. Brinda wants to quickly come in. Brinda, 30 seconds only. Brinda wants to counter you.
To refute the statement made by the gentleman. POCSO is very clear of the crime committed by a person in authority. A person in authority. Would you consider Brij Bhushan Charan Singh as a person in authority?
Yes.
Then the law is
Yes,
very
I
clear.
will.
So
I
do
will.
not quote.
I will.
Do not
Mr.
quote.
Nigam.
No. Sorry.
I will
He is a
consider
person
him
in
a person of
authority.
authority.
Arrest is important.
No, it is not written that he has to be arrested in
But what is the
POCSO.
problem, Mr. Nigam? In case Brij Bhushan is arrested, what is the problem?
Problem
Isn't
is
that the law
policeman will
taking
go to
its own
jail.
course? And even now the wrestlers have said that he needs to be arrested. Do you think he'll be arrested?
Policeman will go to jail if he arrests without permission of the court. The law is very clear. CRPC, look at the 41A amendment. Arnesh Kumar's judgment is only reiterating what is the amendment under the CRPC. Please read it. That is very important. The policeman will be sent to the...
Mr. Nigam, you obviously understand law far better than any one of us on the panel. But if it is a case of POCSO, Brinda, is this the process that has to be followed? That's what I'm concerned about. And we don't even know whether that minor has been forced to retract her statement, or she has voluntarily done that, or she has not done that. There is no clarity about that yet, Brinda.
Yes.
That clarity, yes, is something that we must get, madam. But what is important is, why haven't the police yet sought that permission from court? Is that not high-handedness on the part of the perpetrator, because of which the police have not sought that kind of a permission? You are quoting it and misquoting it to say that the police will be arrested. Why have the police not sought it? What is stopping the police? Is it that they want to have this minor retract her statement? Thankfully, POCSO does not allow that. The onus of proof is on the perpetrator. The question is, this man is running around with impunity, and the police have the responsibility to ask for it because he's an elected
Nigam says that there is a wrong interpretation of law, Brinda. But the point is that I have to take this debate beyond. There are other panelists who haven't spoken. Yes. So, I'm just going to come back to both of you in a moment. Vinay, where do you stand on this? Anurag Thakur today has said that the wrestlers want the charge sheet till the 15th, and that's exactly what we'll do. But they also want this man to be arrested. Now, what is the compulsion of the government to be seen to be standing with him? I mean, come on. This is a government that has done so much for sports people. This is the Prime Minister has done so much to ensure that there are more women who come out in the open, play their favorite sports and make India proud. Why are we standing with Brij Bhushan Sharan at all?
Dipti, it is very unfair to say that anyone in the panel is supporting Brij Bhushan or the government is supporting Brij Bhushan. It is not about supporting or opposing. But today is a good day. We must be happy today. Yes, this must have happened a week back. And the resolution, the agreement that timely status report and charge sheet will be filed, what the sports minister just mentioned in the today, press conference, new election must be conducted because, the wrestling federation that is in a shutdown mode. No practicing is going, no participation is going. Everything has come to an halt. And yes, it has defamed the Wrestling Federation of India. And I think the only solution is investigation and proper investigation. And yes, the today minister has said that he has added that not just proper investigation, but a timely investigation. So I think instead of blaming or instead of claiming, we must welcome this approach of the government. And yes, the approach of the wrestlers also.
Then Vinay, my next obvious question, which I will take to Mr. Bedi, and then I'm going to come to Nikhil and Ravi. Ravi, wait, because Nikhil hasn't spoken. Nikhil, before I come to you, Mr. Bedi. Mr. Bedi, sir, you have some strong opinions on the entire protest. But today I want to know from you, as someone who's covered, sports for the last many years. Does this not bring so much of disrepute to the game? With all the hard work that coaches, the players, everyone has put in, the government has put in, why today people still want to defend or stand with the Brij Bhushan Sharan? Had he been arrested, had there been action against him, we would have not seen a protest like this.
No, you, I think it is your own thinking. How you assume that if Brij Bhushan had been arrested, there would have been no protest? This protest, I am not talking about the legal issues, so please do not put words in my mouth. I am not supporting Brij Bhushan, but I am not also opposing it for the sake of opposing, because everybody is opposing it, is becoming a fashion. Let law takes its own course. And remember, we are not living in Ramaraj. Everything, if you want to arrest Brij Bhushan every second day, then everybody will be arrested. And there are a lot of criminals or lot of petty criminals who are in jail for last 20 years. They are not getting bails. So let us not talk about the legal system.
Bedi, what are you saying, sir? What are you saying? Brinda wants to, I'm sure, counter you. But that's the problem. This is a specific case.
I think we're going in a very wrong direction here.
You know about Brij Bhushan, Sharan. You know about the kind of weight he has.
I think you let everybody talk.
I mean, what's the problem? That pending an investigation, he can be removed, sir.
Why
not give him a clean sheet?
Yeah, if you have got, whether he has got clean sheet or not, I'm not bothered about. At the moment,
that's what it seems like.
The agitation has lost its sting. And now the first question you said, what about that sports person? The very fact that they were able to criticize government, condemn government for 6 months without joining the office, and still they are in office. And they are not petty clerks. They are in very high positions. And condemning the government and still agitating against the government.
How is it put into this case?
Bedi ji, you're getting sharp counters from Brinda, from Ravi and from Nikhil. They do not agree with anything that you're saying, but because Nikhil hasn't spoken, I'll quickly allow him to come in here. Nikhil, help us make sense of what's going on here.
Dipti, very clearly, there are three phases to this entire, agitation. The first one was very clear, wherein the wrestlers expressed their dismay. They had a very strong opposition to Mr. Brij Bhushan. The government, I think, did not anticipate that. Very clearly, the wrestlers, when it all started, said, we don't want any political intervention. We believe in the government of India. Please take action against this man. This is what we believe. I think there were some steps that the government of India took. Unfortunately, they weren't enough, right? Which forced the wrestlers to come back, and absolutely everybody kind of joined that bandwagon from there on, right? You had political parties join it. There was a bigger mileage, and I think that's what has caught the government of India's attention. I think the whole scenario has now moved to phase 3, and that is with the intervention of the Honorable, Union Minister for Home. Once he stepped in, I think he's kind of taken care of, spoken to the wrestlers and said, we will take care of this. I think there was a huge, initially, I think the government would have believed that since it was a prominent member of their party, they should have been, it is quite possible that there was a certain, section that wanted to protect the party's image. However, I think they now understood the gravity of the situation. I think with this meeting today, and if you see how the BJP leaders have been speaking the past week or so, I think it's on the mend now. But I think it is a little too late as far as the party is concerned. But as far as the government is concerned, it's a good move. You need to respect athletes, and law has to take its due course.
I just have one last question as we are towards the fag end of the debate, Nikhil. Binay, do you see some bit of action happening against Brij Bhushan? Just yes or no? In the next 15 days, will there be some action against him?
Dipti, what I see that it has become a habit that each and every controversy is portrayed as a war against the government. This is not a war against the government. The government is caring. The government is caring about the wrestlers. And this was bound to happen. What has happened today? Yes, you may say that it may have happened a week earlier.
Are you forgetting these images that came in from outside the parliament on the 28th of May? The Delhi police then needs to be pulled up, Brinda, for the kind of behavior that was meted out to these, wrestlers.
I
need to wrap up quickly. Ravi, I'll give you the last word, but just 10 seconds each.
You're right.
Brinda,
the Delhi police had no
think
right to do something like this. But because the wrestlers have been protesting for so long, the government has come forward now assuring them of action, and that is a welcome move. Let us not forget, one of the panelists who was supporting Brij Bhushan, similar case came up on him in 2016.
Brij Bhushan here. Please
Jabardasti ka.
Okay, both of them say, Bide and Bedi say we are not supporting Brijbhushan, and I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Neither is the government today standing with him. I think what Anurag Thakur Ravi has said today, that has also blunted a lot of this opposition propaganda that the government is not doing anything. So the opposition also needs to rethink that just because it's an election year, you can't play politics with almost anything and everything, Ravi. Only 10 seconds.
My first demand is the Brijbhushan Sharan Singh should be arrested before 15th of June. Otherwise, there is no solution, there is no release, there is no demand met by the government. It's all eyewash.
So what will you do? Will you go and sit on a protest? The wrestlers saying we are giving time till the 15th now. Ultimately, it's the wrestlers. It's the wrestlers are leading the protest. It's not Ravi Srivastava or the AAP yet. But I think that question again exposes why it's important to keep politics out of such very, very sensitive issues. We've run out of time, but it's been a very important conversation, and over the next few days, we promise our viewers that we'll keep our eyes focused on all the action that the Delhi police is wanting to do or not wanting to do against Brijbhushan. Brinda and all gentlemen, thank you so much. We quickly head into a break right now. Back on the other side with lots more.
The Amity MBA has been ranked among India's top 10 for the last 6 years in the Times of India B-School survey. Yet another top ranking after being ranked among India's top 10 by Economic Times and Business Today. To apply, visit amity.edu.
128 kilometers per hour. When he gets a green signal, he continues to maintain that train at 128 kilometers per hour. But you see how these two lines meet. The loop line meets at that intersection. So instead of coming straight, the signal was green, but the system interlocking went wrong, which means at 138 kilometers per hour, instead of coming straight, he was diverted to that line in which there was already a goods train with iron ore. The focus of that investigation is right now where I am, and that's the station master's room, there where the investigation continues.
What we have essentially tried to do here is get you a sense of how this entire system basically operates, right from this particular machine that we showed you with regards to whether the train is online, the line has been closed, or the line has been cleared or not. There are multiple questions that one will have to answer right now in terms of whether at all there has been some sort of a system failure, whether at all there